Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Trasher Football. Today we're going to be doing our very first Q&A here on the Trasher Football YouTube channel. I went to the Communities tab, I post a lot on there, so make sure that you're always checking the Communities tab for channel updates, questions, polls, and just, whatever. But I asked you guys for some Q&A questions. I got what looks like 12 or 13 questions right here, so this is going to be a pretty short video just to answer some of your guys' Q&A questions. So first up from Jake Hamilton, he says, would you like to see dynamic attendance in the game, like fans leaving early if it's a blowout and possibly them coming back in the game if it gets closer, and attendance depending on how your school is playing or if it's a huge game? Well, obviously, I think that dynamic attendance, yeah. So if you go back to the old NCAA games, if you're, losing a game, your fans start to leave if it's a blowout especially, or if you go to a stadium and you blow them out, they start leaving the stadium. Or if you go to a stadium with a team that's awful, it's not going to be packed at all. It's probably going to be 15% capacity, depending on how big the stadium is. I think like 100%. Like, I don't know, but I'm like fairly certain that that's going to be a part of the game. From Stupidhead51, are you from Florida? If not, why are you a Gator fan? So, a lot of you guys know I am a Florida Gator fan. Yes, I know it's awful being a Florida Gator fan, but it's also really fun because, Florida has more sports than just football. But, yeah, so I'm not from Florida. I'm actually from Alabama, but my mother and father are both from Florida. I do have memories of, like, watching the 2008 National Championship with Tim Tebow. I would have been like, it'd been 2009, so I would have been 5 and I would have turned 6 that year. I do have memories of Tebow's Heisman Trophy winning year, but I don't remember most of it. I have a really awful memory because, I don't know, I just have a bad memory, but I don't want to go into the medical reasons why. But, so I'm not from Florida, but yes, I am a Gators fan, but because I was raised in a Florida Gator household is the reason why I'm a Gators fan. I literally have a Florida Gator flag up against my bed. Back in Mississippi at my dad's house, I have a huge Florida Gator pillow that's like 12 feet long. I have a Florida Gator pillow pet. I have a Florida Gator blanket, Florida Gator pillows. I mean, I am just everything. I have 3 or 4 hoodies. The only thing I don't have is a jersey. I even have a Florida Gator mini helmet here at my desk at this where I record these videos at. That's a good question. I've always wanted to, explain that. MS Blank says, do you think another conference will take the ranks to keep the 5 in Power 5 after the dissolution of the Pac-12? That's a really good question. So I think that it's possible. I don't think it's going to happen in the near future. I think if it does happen, it'll probably be the American. The American Conference has usually been the little redheaded stepchild of the Power 5 conferences, because you had the SEC, the Big Ten, the Big 12, the ACC, and the Pac-12. And now the Pac-12's gone, so now it's more like a Power 4. And, the American Conference has a lot of good teams in there, but I think the Sun Belt could probably rival it. Maybe the Mountain West, if they combine, which I think they are going to combine the last 2 Pac-12 teams with it. I don't know. We'll have to see. I think it's possible, but probably not anytime soon. Thoughts on helmet communications by, I think that's Bob. Yeah, that is Bob. Sorry. Sometimes I have to make sure that these are, who it is, because I try and make sure to remember your guys' names. But, helmet communication is a great thing for football. You see it in the NFL, and I always notice this. A lot of you people are going to get mad at me. I've always noticed it's a lot of old people that don't like the new college football rules, which is the new helmet communications or adding the 2-minute warning. They act like, oh, it's killing the sport of football. No, it's not. It's just evolving, and you don't like change because you're so involved in your comfort place, but it's not going to get any better if it doesn't evolve. If it stays the same, it's going to get boring. It's going to get bad. You're saying it's getting bad for evolving, and you know what? If it doesn't end up being good, somewhere down the line they could take it away. It also helps, with the Michigan scandal where they were stealing sideline signs. Helmet communications helps the fact that they don't have to do that all the time, doing signs from the sideline. The head coach or offensive coordinator or defensive coordinator could talk to players on the field. Now, I'm not 100% sure on who gets a headset in their helmet. I do know the quarterback probably does, but I don't know if any receivers, running backs, D linemen, DBs will get it. But I think it's a great idea. And I do think the 2-minute warning is also great. It gives the team with the ball a chance, but it also gives a commercial break, which I know, womp womp. It gives, a commercial break, extra money for the, NCAA and the programs, which I don't care about commercial breaks. It's all going to happen the same. It's all the games are going to be over by the end of the day, just like it would be with less commercials. There's no reason to complain about it. Just use that extra time to scroll through Twitter and trash on the team you're playing against. The next questions are both from Neon King. He asks, where are you originally from, and did you play any sports in high school? If so, what were they, and what position did you play? So obviously, I'm from Alabama. I'm not going to give a specific city or a specific place in Alabama. I don't want to dox myself. But yes, I am from Alabama originally. I did go to high school in Mississippi. After my mom passed, I moved a couple years after to Mississippi. Did 8th through 12th grade there, graduated, moved back to Alabama, back to near my hometown. But yeah, I'm from Alabama, and I didn't play any sports in high school. I was in marching band. I was like the top player in the entire band every year that I was there. I played percussion, which is drums. I did snare drum. All 4 years of high school. In my 8th grade year, I played a little bit of snare and bass drum. But I did play one season of football in the 4th grade. I played offensive line. I'm trying to remember. I played right tackle, I believe, in the Wildcat position. And our coach loved Wildcat because, we obviously couldn't throw because it was a 4th grade, team. But it was fun, I ended up injuring my ankle and quit mid-season because I couldn't play for the rest of the season, and I just didn't want to play anymore. I couldn't show up to practice, so I just quit the team after a couple of games. But I did play for a while. I did want to come back and play more in high school, but I think I would have had more opportunities to go to college if I had stayed in marching band. But I do believe if I had been put on the defensive line, I would have been an absolute monster. It's probably too late for that now, but you never know. But I enjoyed watching the high school football games. Our team was awful for a while until a new head coach came in. Shout out Coach Smith, who's now coaching his alma mater high school. But yeah, I did play football for half of a season in 4th grade. It was fun. I wanted to do it again, but I decided to stay in band. Joseph, shout out to Joseph. He's one of my top tier favorite fans. Just an absolutely great guy. What team would you go to play for in college football 25 and why? So I have multiple teams. I obviously want to do my Florida Gators. I have the Charlotte dynasty that I have to do with a couple of friends. I do want to do an App State dynasty after we do the last dynasty series by the time college football 25 comes out. I want to do Kennesaw State. I want to do Coastal Carolina. I want to do, there's so many dynasties that I want to do. And it's really hard to just pick one. But if I have to pick, my Florida Gators. But other than Florida, I think Charlotte, the 49ers, not San Francisco, the Charlotte 49ers, I feel like is probably going to be the biggest dynasty other than Florida and App State on the channel. But those will probably just be done in live streams and not videos per se. Bruce McGoose, that's a great name. Favorite college football player still playing in college today? That's a good question. I have 3, I guess. I really love Travis Hunter. Travis Hunter's been an unbelievable receiver and corner for Colorado Caleb Downs, the safety at Ohio State who recently played for Alabama, who's just an unbelievable player, by the way. And then the third one, I'd have to say, is probably Trey Wilson at Florida. He's an unbelievable wide receiver. He probably will be the next Kadarius Toney, Florida-wise. But, Florida hasn't had a receiver to hit 1,000 receiving yards in, around 20 plus years, maybe 19. It's been a long time. But we will have to see. Trey Wilson or Eugene Wilson III, whatever you want to call him, he's a wonderful player. Wonderful, wonderful player. VTGT says, are you doing YouTube full-time right now, and who is your favorite player to watch in college? So yes, I am doing YouTube full-time. For those of you who do not know, I used to run a channel called Asher Trasher for 12 years. It got close to 5,000 subscribers, but I recently retired it to put my entire focus into this channel. This channel is monetized. I've made a crap load of money from it so far. I haven't been able to cash out that money yet because I haven't been able to get a state ID, but I do have a lot of money sitting in my AdSense account just waiting for me to take it out. This is a job now. I have to come on here and record videos, but it's really good when you can turn a hobby into a job, a hobby for fun into a job, and get paid pretty decent money for it, especially for your first 7 or 8 weeks. And my favorite player to watch in college, obviously Tim Tebow, but I also loved watching Cam Newton. I also loved watching Johnny Manziel. I loved watching Dak Prescott at Mississippi State. I loved watching Ezekiel Elliott at Ohio State, Baker Mayfield at Oklahoma, Kyler Murray at both Alabama and Oklahoma. There's so many players that I love to watch, but I think the cake goes to Joe Burrow. I remember that 2019 season for the Florida Gators. They were pretty decent. I think they only lost 2 games that year. And I remember facing off again. They were facing off against LSU. And man, Joe Burrow absolutely lit us up in Death Valley. Joe Burrow 2019 season is incomparable. Whatever word you want to try and use, there's nobody better, at least in our generation of football, better than Joe freaking Burrow. Anomalous Memer says, that's a funny name, what NCAA game do you like the most and why? Plus, if you want, which one did you not like the most and why? I do have to say my top 3 favorites are tied. It's NCAA 05, NCAA 11, and NCAA 14. And I guess 13 is up there too. It's really hard for me to pick. Those 3 or 4 games are the ones that I like to go back to and play a lot. I do have to say that my least favorite, I don't know, probably 12. I feel like 12 was kind of a down year compared to 11. I feel like 11 had a better road to glory than 12. Just in my opinion, at least on you could do classes and you can go to practice, which I know you can do in the other ones, but you could control your GPA, make your stats go up. Do you want to go to the gym? Do you want to hit the library? It was a fun road to glory. I also prefer the scoreboard of 13 and 14 compared to 11 and 12. But I do have to say 12 is probably the one that I didn't really care for. I do own it. I just don't play it. I own every game from 09 to 14. And I do know I have 08 and 07 somewhere back in Mississippi. And last but not least, man, this is one that I've been waiting to say. Daniel asks, where do you live and what is your credit card number and social security number? Obviously, I'm not going to say that, but that did give me a good hearty laugh when I read it the first time. I do think that was funny, but I hope that I answered all of your questions to the best ability that you wanted me to. I do appreciate all 12 of you, or 11, how many questions that I asked, for answering all the questions. They were really good questions. If you have any more questions for me and you want me to do another Q&A video in the future, please leave a comment below on this video or find the communities post. And I will probably do one sometime down the line in the future. But this video is running long for a Q&A video, so I hope you guys all have a wonderful day, and I'll see you guys later.